Welcome to Sims of Shadowland, Part 3, What Dreams Are Made Of, by Lovey Brown. Lovey just couldn't shake the nightmare, and while Brian drifted back to sleep, she slipped quietly out to her private studio. Besides her loving family, music was a huge part of Lovey's life, and she spent as much time as she could get writing music and jamming out. Later that morning, as Lovey and Brian prepared for the day, she thanked him for always being there. After all, the dreams and nightmares had plagued both his and her sleep throughout the years off and on. And despite not wanting to see a therapist, she agreed to make an appointment with Dr. Vale after lunch at Cafe Shadore with her sisters. "Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Wood. This homemade pizza is delicious," said Skyy. "Oh, please. We're just David and Jennifer," replied Jennifer Wood. "And you are so welcome." After dinner, they all watched a movie. Drake couldn't help but notice that every time a scary part would come on, Skyy would wrinkle up her nose. It was completely adorable, he thought. As Lovey awaited for her sister's arrival at Cafe Shadore, she attempted to play the haunting melody that usually served as a backdrop to her dreams. With each note, it was as if she was whisked away into the past, and she could almost see herself once again, adorned in a crimson gown. Lovey was the firstborn sister of triplets. She was a musician, rap artist, and music producer. Lavon was an aspiring actress, wife, and mother, and Queen Love was a minister and artist. All three grew up in a very artistic family on the island de la Corazon, just off the coast of Shadowland. Lunch was warm and comforting. Talking to her sisters was always encouraging. Lovey wanted desperately to tell them what was going on, but she never could find the right moment to transition that wasn't awkward. After the movie, Drake wasted no time. "Skyy, I've been working on some new music. Would you mind checking it out?"
I would love, like that," replied Skyy nervously.
She hoped that the sound of the drums would masquerade the pounding of her own intense heartbeat. But when he began to sing, she thought she would melt. All at once, Skyy leaped from the chair.
I'm so sorry, Drake, but it's getting late. I promised Kelly and Aaron that I'd be home soon."
Just then, Skyy tripped over a snag in the rug and once again found herself in the arms of Drake. Embarrassed and confused, Skyy thanked the woods again and headed for the door when Drake said, "Wait, at least allow me to walk you home."
"Thank you, Drake. I'm sorry. If I seem rude, tonight has just been a little awkward for me. I'm always messing things up with my klutzy self. You don't have to be polite. Drake, I'm used to being different."
"Different?" He chuckled. "I wouldn't know anything about that now, would I?" He laughed as he pointed to his spiked vest and sagging ripped jean shorts. LaTanya entered the office as Dr. Eleanor Vale caught up on her patient files.
"Dr. Vale, excuse me, your 3 o'clock appointment. Lovey Brown is here."
The appointment started as always. Lovey describing her earliest moments of the dreams and nightmares that haunted her since her childhood. Her and her two sisters in some sort of lab being examined by scientists. Talking to Dr. Vale was always the same. It was more for venting than the doc's education of the human psyche. After all, Lovey had a degree herself, but tended to lean on the more spiritual side of things. Something that Lovey wasn't certain that Vale understood. But Lovey at least left smiling. She was almost certain that LaTanya was listening in the other room over the intercom.
Miss Brown, said LaTanya nervously, would you mind grabbing a cup of coffee with me this afternoon? You know, I'm a huge fan, LaTanya began to explain.
I know, Lovey blushed, and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, added LaTanya. But I have a huge confession, Miss Lovey. I accidentally overheard your visit today. Please forgive me. I really need this job, as I'm a single mom and I can't afford to get fired.
It's okay. I knew, Lovey assured. Please just call me Lovey.
Well, Lovey, growing up in New Orleans, you know, I seen a lot go on. I grew up a PK, you know.
Oh, a preacher's kid? Lovey smiled. You know, my sister is a minister at the Little Church of Love in Shadowbrook Lane.
Yes, ma'am, LaTanya added. My family is what you call deliverance ministers down there in Louisiana. It's complicated, but well, I think you would benefit. I mean, basically, I was hoping you would meet my Auntie Mimosa. She's a little different. She's a spiritualist, but she specializes in dream interpretation. But wait, how'd you know I was listening?
I could hear you breathing. The two ladies chuckled, and the two finished their lattes and changed the conversation to all about their kiddos, a subject both moms had in common. This is where I come when I need a breather, Drake said, gently leading Skyy to the pond at the park. He fumbled for change in his pocket to put in the machine as he handed Skyy a small remote. For a brief moment, Skyy only concentrated on steering the little boat across the beautiful ripples of water, and Drake couldn't concentrate on anything but Skyy. Not bad for a first-timer, he laughed. I guess you're not as klutzy as you thought. Afterwards, they sat and talked. Skyy began to open up a little. She told him all about the mean girls at Pinkerton High and everything she's been going through, as Drake listened intently, nodding his head as she spoke.
You know that my parents are missing. Can you even imagine how that feels? She sobbed.
As a matter of fact, I can, Drake interjected. And I'm sorry about your parents. I have faith that you'll get through this, but I also believe life is short, and you have to take each moment as your last. This is exactly why I'm not going to waste any time any longer tonight. Skyy gasped to catch her breath as he leaned towards her. I'm going to tell you a secret. Shh! I don't even want the flowers to hear. You see, they are magnificently created, beautiful creations of God. Skyy listened intently, but feeling Drake so close made her tremble within. And yet, he continued, they do not compare to you, Skyy. All at once, Drake pulled Skyy close to his chest, and holding her gently, he kissed her so sweetly. and he simply couldn't stop. He kissed her all the way home, and not even noticing Kelly, her big sister, watching from the window, he hugged Skyy goodbye.
Oh, Skittles and Shasha, you won't believe my night.
Skyy couldn't wait to tell Kelly all about Drake, but she couldn't utter anything but a happy sigh, thus saying way more than words, considering that Kelly was almost certain she had just witnessed her little sister's first goodbye kiss. Then the phone rang. Skyy could barely catch her breath, and when she realized that it was Drake on the line, "I have to see you again, Skyy." She could barely contain herself when he said yes to babysitting with her tomorrow for little Ryan and Morgan Brown. "Good night, my blue sky," he uttered.
"Good night, sweet Drake," she whispered back.
After the call, Skyy ran straight to her bedroom and grabbed her diary. Her heart raced so fast she could barely write. The night had brought such magic out of the recent pain, and almost for a moment she forgot all about her sadness. The embrace, the kiss, Drake Xander! But it was so much more than meeting her undeniably sexy teen idol heartthrob. He was real and honest and a gentleman. But somehow when he played his music to her that evening, and even through all the comforting words he said that night, she could see pain deep behind his blue eyes. He had alluded that he'd been going through a lot lately. And why did he just leave in the middle of his last concert, in front of all those people? I mean, sure, anyone can sympathize, but he said emphatically, "As a matter of fact, I can understand what you're going through." After I told him about my parents being missing, and that he couldn't understand how that feels, did Drake have secrets of his own? To be continued.